right, what up, gooseberry pickers? This is actually my first preview video of my favorite up-and-coming sport, my favorite combat sport, BKFC. I follow all combat sports for the most part, but this is one that I actually wanted to get into content creation and breaking down because I believe it's one of the fastest growing sports right now, if not the fastest. Wow. I'm going to trip over my words a lot, especially on some of these names, a lot of Slavic names, a lot of Baltic state names, like a lot of Oshtoviks and a lot of Rakovics. So let's get it started. If you're betting on this, you'll probably want to watch this because got some parlay advice, got some stuff like that. But I'm going to be honest, for my first preview, this fight night is kind of shite. Not great. There's some diamonds in the rough, but I might be stopping and restarting the video a few times because I'm having some issues with my editing software. So anyway, let's get started. Unor Horvath versus Ahmet Duman. I'm going to be really quick with this one. There's no combat experience for either of them. It looks like Ahmet he was a Turkish wrestler. Looks like he even went pro with it. Look, I mean, he wrestled on the world stage, I guess? Okay, well, since we got nothing on either of them, we're gonna have to go with Ahmet. He has actual competitive experience, martial art experience. Wrestling is a martial art. There's nothing much else to say about that. Moving on. We got Jedrzejczyk Kurski versus Donovan Desme. Now, this is an interesting one. We got 0-1 in the BKFC, but that's still experience. That's still good to see, especially if you're making it into the later rounds versus a debuter. However, what I found, so he's a 2-1 professional boxer, not bad. He has a knockout, but he's been knocked out. He's Polish, probably one of the toughest countries on earth historically for fighters. But I didn't find anything on BoxRec for Donovan Desme, but when you go to Tapology or Sherdog, you see he's a 19-10 professional MMA fighter. He's from Brussels, Belgium. He looks like he's been in some wars. 19-10, not a record to scoff at. He has 9 KOs, so he does have knockout power. Even though he doesn't have boxing experience, I gotta give it to Donovan Desme. He has just overall way more combat experience by a lot. Nearly 40 fights, Lord help us. Gotta give it to Donovan Desme if you're a betting man starting your parlay. I wouldn't even put any of this in. I would start here. I think this is the obvious choice, although anything can happen in BKFC. And again, if you're a Dursky fan, yes, I mean, you can hang your hat on the fact that he has the more pure boxing experience, I suppose, but that's what I'll put my money on. Moving forward, we got Nadja Milvanka Civic versus Deborah Melhorn. I'm going to say all these names so wrong. Deborah 0-1. We got a debuter over here. Going to be a lot of debuters. Let's see. So, Nadja, this is what's interesting. She's a 4-0 professional boxer from Serbia. 3 KOs, never been knocked out. Now, you're going to say, well, the quality of her opponents, 4-24, 4-13, 1-6, 0-1. That's honestly, I don't care. These are experienced girls, probably tough bitches who don't know when to quit, right? And she's knocking them out. She's at least TKOing them, if not worse. So, in my mind, this is a big deal. So I talk about this a lot. I've talked about this with my good friend Trayvon Kroger. He had a very successful MMA and boxing career. Decided to come over to BKFC. If your career is going really well in other combat sports and you come to be the future of the BKFC, I'm almost always going to put my money on you because you know how to win, you know how to get your hand raised. And a lot of people come to the BKFC to either call their career quits or because their fighting career in other fields where it wasn't going so well, right? You weren't doing well in boxing, you weren't doing well in MMA. Not always, sometimes. And sometimes those people do well in the BKFC because they're just better without the gloves on. Now, what's interesting here, Deborah Melhorn, she does have a win over a quality opponent, over a 3-0 opponent, majority decision, so it was probably a close fight. She's from Germany. I mean, that's nothing to scoff at. That win is nothing to scoff at. know anything about this Nisa Rodriguez, but I'm going to give it to the girl who has knockout power, clearly. 3 of her 4 fights are knockouts. That's kind of rare for female boxers and female MMA fighters, I'm going to be honest. For 75% of your fights to be knockouts, I don't think it's sexist to say that's rare for female fighters. We gotta go with the girl. She has more experience. She might have less BKFC experience, as we pointed out earlier. Deborah Melhorn's 0-1. We gotta give it to the girl with just more fighting experience, more knockouts. Knockout power is probably the most important thing in the BKFC. Moving on. Damjan Savanovic versus Tony Estora. So, debuter versus 2-2 BKFC record. Honestly, not a bad record in the BKFC. Because anything can happen. Anyone can get clipped. What did I find on Damjan's? Oh yeah, that's right. He is a 1-9 professional boxer. He has a KO to his name, and he's been KO'd 5 times. Kind of chinny, right? He's from Bosnia. That's a tough country, but let's be honest. Not a great record. Kind of a journeyman record. I believe this is a heavyweight fight. It is. Look, if you look at Tony, he looks in shape for a heavyweight. Most of these heavyweights that come over to the BKFC are blobs of diabetes. Let's just be honest about it. This guy looks in shape. I'm gonna guess that this guy's a blob. I'm gonna guess that this guy needs to tone down on the baklava or whatever they're eating over there, right? So I'm gonna go with Tony. He has more BKFC experience. He has more overall wins. 2 wins is more than 1, right? He might have less fight experience overall, but he has more squared circle experience. I'm gonna take him. Moving on, we got Dusan Radovic versus Stefan Dobricevic. Both debuting. What I found on them, not a lot. Dusan Radovic, Serbian, which means he's tough, but he's an 0-2 professional boxer. Average quality opponents, and I found absolutely nothing on Stefan. Nothing. I think there's no combat experience on Tapology Box Rex Sherdog. I don't know. This fight's kind of, but I am gonna go with Dusan Radovic. Even though he's 0-2, he has more combat experience. And something I noticed that was interesting, he's never been knocked out. He's made it to the final bell every time. That means he's tough. He can actually weather a storm, right? That's the only reason I'm going to go for him. If you're doing a parlay, I would not put money on this fight, but I'm going with Dusan. Dylan Prosovic versus Lashla Royanishvili. Sounds like a Georgian name, right? Like Marabdashvili. Both debuting in the squared circle. Sorry, my nose itches. I promise it's not because I'm doing angel dust or anything like that. Yeah. Someone must be thinking about me. So, Dylan, look at this. 19-7. In really good record for a pro boxer. He's a Montenegro homeboy. He has 16 KOs. Now, granted, all of his losses have been KOs. He's a bit chinny. We don't like to see that, but he's going to have the hometown on his side. He's going to have the hype behind him. Again, really good record. He has a lot of knockouts. This guy has knockout power. He knows how to finish fights. And meanwhile, on the other side, I don't have the page pulled up, but I believe Lashla was an 0-2 professional boxer from Georgia. Yeah, he was. They're throwing Dylan a bone. They're throwing the hometown a bone. This guy has a really good record against a guy who's 0-2. I expect an early knockout. Again, anything can happen. Both people are prone to knockouts, but I think this one is like the gift to the hometown. So if you're putting money on anyone, it'd be Dylan Prosovic. Moving on. Peter Rozov versus Bojan Kozender. Blech. Oh, no. How is this the by the way, as we're going to go over, how is this the co-main event? This you're going to see. Debut versus an 0-2. That is still experience in bare knuckle. That's important, but he hasn't gotten his hand raised yet. So, what did I find on Peter? He's an 0-2 professional boxer. He's been knocked out twice. He's Croatian, which means he's tough, but he's never made it to the final bell. What we got on Bojan Kozender, he's 0-3 as a professional boxer, 0-2 as a bare knuckle boxer. However, he's never been knocked out. He's made it to the final bell every time. I don't know about his bare knuckle career, but that shows toughness. This doesn't show as much toughness. I don't know the circumstances. I don't know anything else. This is, again, one of those fights where it's like, okay, whatever. We're going to go with Bojan Kosinder because he's just tougher. Researching him, he's just tougher. I don't know. And he has more experience in bare knuckle. Neither one of these people have ever gotten their hand raised in a professional fight. I think Bojan's going to get his first win here. On to the main event. Veso BKFC versus Wilhelm Odd. This is more interesting than you think. On paper, you're like, well, we got the 5-0 bare knuckle guy versus the 0-0. We're going to go with the 5-0. Not so fast. Big height and probably reach discrepancy here. Wilhelm Odd is 6-0. Let's look at Veso first. 6-1 as a professional boxer, 3 KOs. He's never been knocked out. That's good. His nickname's the Psychopath. That's probably good. He's Serbian, very good. This is looking promising, but Wilhelm Odd, he's an 0-1 professional boxer. He's been knocked out, not looking promising. Austria's not a country known for their good fighters necessarily. Their last decent fighter couldn't even take Stalingrad. He ended up losing possibly the biggest fight of all time back in the 1940s. But once we head over here, Wilhelm Odd, the Austrian nightmare, 19-19 professional MMA fighter. Holy cow. And he has a draw in there. This guy has almost 40 professional MMA bouts. 17 knockouts. That's a huge deal. Most of his wins are knockouts. Now he is 43. He's getting up there. I guess he's only 5'11", whatever. Not a big discrepancy. So, once we do our research, we see Wilhelm Odd has by far the experience advantage and the size advantage. However, he's lost just as much as he's won. Yes, he has major knockout power, so this might be a coin flip. I'm still gonna go with Veso. He gets it. He's only lost once in his whole professional career. He had this experience here is what matters most people, especially winning experience, right? This guy has been hit bare knuckle to bare bone many times in the face and has survived. I'm gonna go with Veso. He's gonna get the win. I think it's gonna be an early knockout. But again, this guy has knockout power and he has the experience advantage. This is a tough one to put money on. I think you still go over here. Take it for Veso. Yeah, that should do it. I'm gonna try and do more previews and more breakdowns in the future. It's fun to me. I like to see the up-and-comers. Even this card, which is by all means a very terrible card. Unlike the Sturgis one I was at last weekend in person to see my boy Trey Bond, Cody Kerr got a win, Shayna Bainlift. All my South Dakota people got wins that night. But even though this card's not that good, sometimes those are the most interesting to dissect and get the magnifying glass out, because you never know. And betting on bare knuckle, you never know anyway. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. See y'all next time.